Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 10B. My name is Alesha Mulla, and I would be your moderator for this session. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 11th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology, ICICT, London, UK. The 11th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held on the 24th of February in London, and the virtual event is being held from 25th to 27th February through Zoom. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions through the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for question and answer. On the 10-minute mark, I will raise a gentle reminder. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chairs for this session. Our first chair for today is Dr. Latika Desai. Dr. Latika Desai is at present working as a Dean, Universal Human Values at Dr. D.Y. Patil College of Engineering in Akurdi, Pune, India. She has a total of 25 years of teaching experience. She has published 33 papers in various journals. She is having 2 copyrights from the Government of India. Her areas of interest include digital electronics, data security, and embedded systems and IoT cloud. Our next chair for today is Vishalini Pirathap. She is a lecturer in the Department of Information Technology within the Faculty of Computing at SLIIT, Northern University, Jaffna, Sri Lanka. She is recognized as a dedicated tech educator, researcher, and mentor with a strong focus on software engineering and IT education. She is actively involved in academic research. Her work emphasizes the regional IT landscape in Sri Lanka, and while she also contributes to student development through technology, mentorship, and applied learning. I would like to request our chairs to please say a few words. I would like to request Dr. Latika Desai to say a few words.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. All the best to all the researchers, those are presenting the papers. And by taking the time consideration, you try to finish your presentations. And all the best to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I would now like to request
Yeah.
Vishalini Pirathap to please say a few words.
So good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you all. So welcome to this session. So I'm happy to chair this session with Dr. Latika Desani, and also good luck to you all for your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. We will now begin with the first presentation for today. First up, we have Leopoldo Vera, who will be presenting Colloquial Spanish and Linguistic Variation in Emergency Communication on the Social Network X, Ecuador Study Case. You may start your presentation.
Sí. Good morning and good afternoon. It's a pleasure can be part of an international congress in information and communication technology. I am Leopoldo Vera. My title of my investigation is Colloquial Spanish and Linguistic Variation and Emergence Communication, the Social Network Ecuador Case Study. And social media platforms have become key source of large-scale real-time information exchange among citizens, organizations, and authorities. And in emergency contexts, their ability to disseminate situation update often faster than traditional media position network such as X as value tool for supporting decision making across preparedness, response, and recovery phase. User generates content frequency, report casualty, infrastructure, damage, and urgent need. Enable rapid damage assessment and operational awareness when messaging original from eyewitness. Given the volume and the thematic diversity of social metadata, effectively filtering mechanisms are essential to extract relevant information. Method. Describe a quantitative approach was used to analyze language adaptation and emergence communication, focusing on quantifying textual partners and evaluating automatic classification models. Why qualitative methods could alter the context and the quantity approach aligned with the research goal of identifying generation language partner during emergency. Countries with computational language method and Chris DM standard. How we can look, this is the medium of represent the method. The web scraping is when we start. The web scraping, the data collection tweak, and the classified data is the first phase, and we use it or prepare the data. Well, then we process the data, and separate colloquial tweets from data and model training with neutral Spanish. In this phase, we analysis of the model result with colloquial tweets. The data acquisition and classification, the study adopted a data acquisition strategy oriented toward category, linguistic, and operationality relevant emergent relay communication in Ecuador, prioritizing geographic specific city, I'm sorry, this is super, temporary granularity, and metadata completeness. Data were collected using the Twig Scraper V2 actor from Apify. We use Apify when the moment we make the investigation, Apify was free. Now, at this moment, Apify has a cost of $41. Sell it for high configurability under strict hill facial constraint. How can see the distribution of them by categories is citizen security, disaster management, risk management. We using a K term. The process and feature registration to prepare to the data for modeling. Trees underwing a pre-processing, state focus, and textual normalization. Victory exchange was conducted on raw textual content to preserve the linguistic signal relevant to emergency communication. The strike victory same comprise to lem, word lem distribution, punctuation, frequency, capitalization rate, and linguistic diversity. And the identification of a dialectal variant was analyzed through the operationalization of colloquy using the Ecuadorian Spanish dictionary present and the table 2 in the article. You can see semantic search we are planning to identify exact and contextual occurs of this expression within the corpus. Word cloud visualization were employed as complementary quality tool to strengthen a lexical pattern between emergence and not emergence messaging. This will approach enable the segment of informal register prevails and its distribution across content type, providing empiric evidence of the role of regional language in emergence related digital discourse. For the modeling and validation, neutral Spanish corpus was controlled by clouding tweets containing colloquial terming, while this club set was preserved as independent test sets. For basically classification model, logist regression, support vector machine, random forest, and artificial neural network. were training of a neutral corpus without hypermating optimization, establishing reference performance level. The text presentation was performed using to TF, EIDF, GloB, and Word2Vec. Vectorization technique to capture complementary lexical and semantic properties. The model performance was evaluated using accurate recall and precision, enable a balancing of segment of classification without understanding and dialectic perturbing condition. Well, in the part of Russell, data acquisition, classification, preprocessing, and filter restoration. As a result, database computation process and give it the limitation of the tweak often per query with the amplify actor. In dataset composed of 4,316 geolocated tweet in Ecuador was generated, of which 2,679 correspond to tweets labeled as not urgent and 1,686 to tweet labeled of urgent. It should be noted that, regardless simply geographical limitations were present, saying 52% of tweets original of the Sierra region and compared to 44% in the coast and 4% in the Amazonas. These are region and Ecuador. This is the example, the tweet before and after preposition. You can see the original tweet, accidente grave en la vía Quito Calderón, necesitamos ayuda urgente. You can see the prepositive tweet, accidente grave vía Quito Calderón, necesitamos ayuda urgente. We can see removal of emoji and hashtag redux, explicit, urgent, market, capitalization loss affects, silent metrics. Although processing improves text one consists in the model compatibility. It's also surprise express because often encouraging increases communication. A comparative analysis to writing the same between emergence and not emergence corpora therefore reveals satisfaction rubber and difference that reflect distinct communication of a strategy. Can you see the distribution of the tweet let and the distribution and conversation word count and the word length, the comparison in the tweets. Um, Punctuation using fewer differentiation but corporate not emergence tweet exhibit and a highly concentrated distribution with minimal syntax structure, where emergence tweet how grain dispersion of 15% high under median punctuation density. And this pattern reflects deliberate syndicate modelization to segment information, emphasis, urgency, and structure complex the situational content. And we identify a dialectic barrier. The most used word and emerges and the most used word non-emergent. Can you see the most used word and emerges is transporte, pérdida, vehículo. And the most used word non-emergent is viaje, transporte, accidente. Through an exact search of morphologic normalization process, the corpus of interest was compressed analysis to identify the presence of the expression in complete tweets. This methodology revealed that only 0.83% of emerging tweets contain at least one colloquialism. It's very sure that the colloquialism each corpus present a different distribution of colloquial termini according to the classification. This note the variety mini present by colloquium term defining validity than even the minimum expression The regional lexicon fulfill critical function. It's a structured geographical signaling, gradually urgent but identify techniques discretor. This analysis confirmed that linguistic neutralization increases and aesthetic dominant but not is absolute, where resident regional operate a micro indicator of the situation intelligence. And this is the model of the validation to estimate the performance of the process emerging detection model. The dataset was used after including trees containing colloquial expression, resulting corpus, and neutral Spanish. This exercise enabled the model to learn state lexical and structural pattern, while along with the effect of dialect variation to examine it separately during evaluation. Can you see if we the best model result according to vectors is the TF-IDF? Well, for finish with the conclusion, the study analyzed the impact of colloquial language on the automatic detection of emerging using MLP focus of Twitter, now called X, data in Ecuador. The findings show that during critical event, users tend to adopt a more technical and uniform language, which improves the accuracy of model training with Star Spanish. The situation reduces the computational load and favor automatic classification. The implications of these findings are relevant, but for the MLP research communicate and for the response to emergency managing system. The development of hybrid analysis workflow is suggest integrating a special model for local lexicon and adaptive learning technique. The present work is aiming at research, development of linguistic technology, and public agents that managing information in crisis context. Taken together, these findings are expecting to inspire new lines of research, relationship between language, technology, and social release and emergence environment. That is all my exposition.
So I have a one question. So did you compare your results with the normal Spanish language model to see the difference?
And yes, I use it just the model in Spanish, the Spanish model. Yes.
Okay.
Nice presentation. I have one question. Computational load, it reduced, right?
Yes, yes.
So can you elaborate little bit? Brief. How much
Um,
range I need to know.
okay, if we reduce when how do can I can see you um the core of the investigation of a colloquial language with demonstrate to us that in just the moment to emergence the people write or make the tweet. Very short, very compact, and using just the word to essential to explain the emergency when different when you people tweet whatever use many word and the final don't say nothing. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Over to Anisha.
Yes, ma'am. We will now move on to the next presentation. Next up, we have Aliyu Umar, who will be presenting their paper, Detecting Dark Patterns in User Interfaces Using Logistic Regression and Bag of Words Representation. You may now start presenting.
Hello, everyone. In the schedule, I have the next conference. Please, if you can confirm me that.
If I'm not wrong, currently we have Aliyu Omar, but if he's not present, then yes, we can move on. Let me just introduce you.
Okay,
I just want to
thanks.
confirm before we move on if any of Mr. Omar's teammates are present over here or the co-authors. All right, in that case, we'll move on to the next presentation. So next we have Armando Cabrera Silva, who will be presenting Developing a Standards-Based Framework for Enhancing Digital Strategies through ISO and IEC Standards. You may now start your presentation.
Okay, well, thank you, Alesha. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me at the ICICT 2026. Today, I'm proud to present our work. Let me share. Okay. You can see the presentation, please.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me at the ICICT 2026. Today, I'm proud to present our work developing a standard-based framework for enhancing digital strategies through ISO and IEC standards. This work is presented by Armando Cabrera Silva, Germania Rodriguez, Marco Abad, and Manuel Sucuduta, which are all part of the group of research group of software engineering, enterprise architecture, and other branches. First of all, I want to work with the agenda. In the next 12 minutes, I will cover why digital strategies fail, the standards gaps, our proposal framework, the mixed method, the validation we did, the key results, and finally the conclusions and future work. What is the challenge here? We use ISO and IEC standards. We see that companies have a big problem when they go into digital transformation, and it's that they don't have a roadmap or a sure work to do. It seems that digital transformation is essentially for every organization today. Yet most initiatives remain fragmented, companies struggle with resistance to change, skill gaps, lack of alignment between departments and sustainability, blind spots, and Industry 4.0 demands something better, a coherent strategy that brings technology and collaboration together. What are the research gaps and the objectives of this research? Existing studies usually look at the standard and isolation, quality here, innovation there, cloud somewhere else. Very few integrate management practice with enabled technology standards, and almost no empirical evidence exists from emerging markets. Our objectives is to design an integrated standard-based framework and validate with senior executives in Ecuador technology ecosystem, CITEC. It's CTEC. It's a big conglomerate of enterprises or companies of too many sectors. What is the methodology? What we use? Let me walk you through how we built and tested the framework. We followed a clear four proposed mixed method approach. In the phase one, we first of all do an analysis of strategy alignment, and next enables strategy. It means that when we go to digital transformations, we have two ways. The first of all is the way of strategy, and the next is the way of the management. And the second one is almost forget for the companies. And it implies that we have to analyze ISO standards for each of the strategies that we see, what you see there. For instance, first of all, quality management systems, social responsibility, and governance of organizations. In the next phase, In strategy enablers, we analyze innovation management, organizational resilience, collaborative business relationship management systems, cloud computing, big data, and developing information for users and agile environment. This is important because the next phase is the design of the digital strategy in which we define all the building blocks and derive the capabilities. And finally, we do the research design in which we validate the entire model with real executives using semi-structured interviews and a structured survey. This systematic process allowed us to move from theory to the ready-to-use model grounded in practice. Now you will see the proposed framework, in which this is the heart of our contribution. The proposed framework, on the one left, you see a strategy management, the foundation that keeps everything aligned with quality, social responsibility, and good governance. We think that good governance is the key point in the companies, because when you work with an architectural scheme, you need to know if you are working in a federated model, a layered model. In digital transformation, the best way is to work with federated model, and we need to establish a good practice for governance. And this is the first.
We'll wait for a couple of seconds for him to join back. In the meantime, we'll move on to the next presenter. Next, we've got Nur Al-Hada Kesik Khairallah, who will be presenting dynamic routing based on bandwidth reservation in computer networks. Nur, you may start your presentation. Are any of Noor's teammates in the meeting with us? Okay. We'll move on to the next. Next, we've got Athanasos Kouresis, who will be presenting GEM Robert A and GEM Modern Bird Corpus Curation and Architectural Advances for Greek Language Understanding.
Thank you, Alicia. Can you hear me? Share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. My name is Athanasis Kouresis, and I will be presenting GEM Roberta and GEM Modern Bird, two Greek NLP models focusing on corpus curation and architectural advances for Greek language understanding. Now, our main motivation behind the development of these models is, first of all, the data scarcity, which means that there aren't a lot of high-quality, large-scale Greek datasets for model pre-training, which is a limitation leading to suboptimal model performance, particularly in specialized domains such as law or finance. Now, secondly, there is an architectural stagnation. Greek NLP has been confined to early order transformer architectures, meaning BERT models, with restrictive context windows of 512 tokens, while more efficient and powerful model architectures remain unexplored. Now, our third motivation is the fragmented Greek NLP landscape, in which data curation and modern architectures have not been systematically unified for the Greek language. Our main contributions are as follows. First of all, we propose GEM Roberta and GEM Modern Bird, which exhibit improved performance over established state-of-the-art Greek embedding models, with GEM Modern Bird constituting the first efficient 1024 token context window model for Greek. Secondly, we address the problem of data scarcity for the Greek language by constructing and releasing several large-scale, meticulously curated corpora, including low domain and general domain datasets. Three, and finally, we conduct a comprehensive comparative analysis after pre-training the models on a diverse set of challenging NLP tasks. That means named entity recognition, natural language inference, and multi-class legal topic classification, providing a valuable benchmark for the Greek NLP community. Now, as for our pre-training corpus composition, we have 8 sources, 8 different corpora, comprising about 59 gigabytes and 8 billion tokens. We have 2 main domains, one being specialized legal corpora and 2 general domain corpora, Wikipedia, which is from the synonymous site, and OSCAR, which is a web-crawled corpus comprising mostly blogs and posts on the web. As for the legal corpora, we have the Government Gazette of Greece, the proceedings of the European Parliament, European legislation and Greek Parliament proceedings, as well as Raptarchis, a Greek legal dictionary, along with the Supreme Court reports. As for OSCAR, which is the most curious of cases, it's a 41 gigabyte corpus after pre-processing. The original size is much larger, about 200 gigabytes, and it constitutes the majority of the pre-training data. It's a web code collection, and it required extensive filtering to mitigate inherent noise. What we did was to filter based on the quality of the passages, removing records that are too small or words that were too large, lorem ipsum chunks of text, and duplicates that could be found in Wikipedia articles because we already possess the Wikipedia dataset. Secondly, we performed noise removal, stripping all emails, URLs, hashtags, emojis, HTML and JavaScript artifacts, and random noise in general. Number 3, we performed exact deduplication in individual files using locality-sensitive hashing. Number 4, we performed near deduplication using NimHash LSH across the entire corpus using the metric of Jacquard similarity. And finally, we use the monoclinical language model to filter out low-quality passages. It's essentially a 7-gram language model trained on high-quality Greek corpus. Now, as for our configurations, we have 3 main configurations. We have a pure legal corpus of 17 gigabytes, which contains all of the Greek legal sources, Government Gazette, European Parliament proceedings, and so on, and it serves as the baseline for specialized legal language understanding. We also have a second rendition of this corpus, which is the high-quality repeated corpus of about 21 gigabytes, which uses 4 times upsampling of the Raptarchis legal dictionary, which is our main source for the Greek legal terminology and their meanings. Our general domain corpus is quite larger, approximating about 59 gigabytes, and it combines clean general domain sources from Wikipedia and the filtered OSCAR dataset, providing a comprehensive and linguistically diverse foundation while maintaining legal expertise. So, as for the model architectures, we pre-train GEM Roberta and GEM Modernbird based on these foundations. First of all, we have 2 different architectures, Roberta and Modernbird, 2 different context windows. The 512 token context window is industry standard, and the 1024 token context window is quite larger and is the first long context model used in Greece in an efficient manner. Third, the max supported tokens for GEM Modernbird is 8,192, so there is room for exploiting all of that context window. They both use a similar masking strategy, dynamic masking, and they both have a certain status in Greek NLP, being Roberta being a state-of-the-art model used by various models as the baseline. For example, Greek legal Roberta already exists and is an efficient model, while GEM Modernbird makes its first appearance in Greek, providing comparable results. Now, the key strengths for GEM Roberta is its proven effectiveness, while GEM Modernbird has an efficient architecture that has yet to be explored. We use a configuration on AWS, an EC2 instance, carrying about 8 H100 NVIDIA GPUs, 80 gigabytes of VRAM, an ADAM-W optimizer, a linear learning rate scheduler, and mixed precision. We pre-trained on masked language modeling for about 150,000 steps. Our experimental setup is as follows. After pre-training, we benchmark the models on 3 industry standard tasks. We have name identity recognition on legal texts, 254 issues of the Government Gazette from the years 2000 to 2017, and we have 7 entity types similar to those of SPACY, let's say organization, person, location, and so on and so forth. We also have natural language inference on the XNLI Greek dataset containing about 393,000 training pairs with 3 labels: contradiction, entailment, and neutral, and a test set of 5,000 Greek sentences. We also have multi-class legal topic classification on the Greek legal code, Raptarchis, which contains legislative documents spanning all of the history of modern Greece with a 3-level hierarchy. The larger documents are volumes with 47 labels. There are chapters which are essentially extended paragraphs with 389 labels, and subjects which are even smaller, having 2,285 labels. Our baselines for the benchmarks were the Greek BERT model, the Greek legal BERT, Greek legal Roberta, and the Greek media long format. The metrics used are accuracy, AUC, and the geometric mean. Now, let's go to the results. For the first task of name identity recognition, we can see that GEM-Roberta models using all of the suggested corpora perform generally better, achieving the highest scores across all 3 metrics. Especially the general domain model achieves an accuracy of 97.5, followed by GEM modern BERT with the HQ repeated legal data set, achieving comparable accuracy and lagging a bit behind on AUC and GM. For NLI, natural language inference, we have similar results, with GEM-Roberta being on the forefront, having an advantage of plus 3.6% accuracy improvement over Greek BERT, which is the industry standard, establishing a new state-of-the-art for Greek NLI. We can see that all of the models lag a bit behind here, especially Longformer, which is the only available long context Greek model for natural understanding, but fails to keep up in terms of accuracy and AUC. Now, for the final task of multi-class legal topic classification, we can see that the results are much more interesting, with GEM-Roberta achieving generally better scores, especially the general domain model does better on the AUC fronts of volumes and chapters, while the legal variants achieve better accuracy across all 3 types of labels. We can see that the HQ repetition version achieves better accuracy on the volumes and the subjects, and the single legal configuration achieves better accuracy on chapters and better AUC on the subjects. Let's see a bit, let's look into our main findings. First of all, we can see that the Roberta models have consistent architectural superiority, outperforming all baselines across NER, NLI, and multi-class legal topic classification benchmarks, confirming that both architectural innovation and domain-specific data curation are essential for advancing Greek NLP. Now, there are some significant effects regarding corpus composition. The general domain corpus yields best results for NER and NLI, which is attributed to its broader linguistic diversity, while the legal and HQ repeated corpora prove most effective for legal classification tasks at chapter or subject level. And this is due to their better familiarization with concentrated domain terminology. The viability of the extended context of 1,024 tokens is verified, with GEM modern BERT achieving competitive performance with traditional 512 token models, validating both the architecture and our training methodology. Now, the strategic upsampling of the legal dictionary demonstrates that targeted repetition of high-quality subcorpora is an effective strategy for domain adaptation, particularly for hierarchical legal classification. Some limitations we face is that the 1024 token context window, while being a substantial improvement over 512 tokens, remains insufficient for processing complete legal documents that often span thousands of tokens, multiple pages. Secondly, the evaluation was constrained to 3 benchmarks. A broader assessment using question answering, summarization, and information retrieval would provide a more complete characterization. And third, optimal repetition factors and selection criteria for high-quality subcorpora remain empirically determined rather than theoretically grounded. So there is room for research there. Some future directions for continuing our work. First of all, we should, of course, extend evaluation to multiple additional benchmarks, such as question answering, summarization, and I, as said above. Secondly, we should apply this methodology to specialized domains beyond law. For example, biology or medicine, finance or technical documentation and code. And third, we should explore multilingual extensions incorporating additional European languages with comparable legal systems. That will be all. Our models and corpora can be found at the given link in Hiking Face, and we also have an extended technical report. So anyone, you could contact me in this email given here in order to follow up, discuss on the findings, and share ideas. Thank you. Any questions?
Informative presentation. Nicely presented the results. In quality over quality, you mentioned subcorpora is an effective strategy for the domain adaptation.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yes, as we can see here in the task of multi-class legal topic classification, the model that has been trained on the repeated corpus with the upsampling, we can see that it achieves better accuracy at the volume level. So given more context, it performs better. And also on the subject level, which involves smaller chunks of text, it also yields the best performance compared to all other models. So we can see there is some value in using the upsampling and repetition techniques, but it has to be better researched and theoretically grounded.
Okay, thank you. If you are comparing your results with the other researchers, it will be appreciable. Over to Vaishali ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have only one question. So, how does your model handle some complex Greek words?
Sorry, could you repeat?
That how your model handles some rare or complexity Greek words?
That is an excellent question. We use a custom-made tokenizer, which has an extended vocabulary of about 35,000 words. And if it encounters any out-of-vocabulary words, it performs sub-word tokenization. For example, it can break a word into 4 pieces and identify whether it's a noun, or it's a verb, or it's an adjective, and by its context, it can deduce some conclusions regarding its meaning. For example, if the word bank appears next to the word river, then its embedding representation will be different than a financial bank. Same with an out-of-vocabulary word, depending on the context.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
thank
hand
you very
over
much.
to Alicia.
All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Next, we have Khaled Al-Sufiani, who will be presenting Toward an Explainable Generative AI, Investigating User Needs Through a User-Centered Study. Khaled, you may start your presentation.
Yeah, hi. Just a second to share the presentation. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure to be part of the ICICT 2026 conference. Today I'll be presenting my paper about which is titled Toward Unexplainable Generative AI, Investigating User Needs Through a User-Centered Study. So why explainability in generative AI? So generative AI recently randomly transforming industry through its ability to autonomously generate whether text, images, audio, video, etc. So models increasingly become more complex, which known as our black box problem. So user cannot see how output are generated. And the three main issues that we're facing is trust, transparency, accountability, main critical issues. So the problem we're trying to solve in this paper is the most XAI research focused on the algorithm itself, transparency, or using some tools such as line shape, developer-oriented explanation. Still, there is a question on what do user actually want explained. So the main focus was to explore user needs. So we employed the repeated measures design where participants rank some explanatory questions. So the main research question was what type of explanations do user prioritize? So it's about more the preference and priority from a user perspective. Does task also an important question, the task complexity, whether it influences the explanation needs, and does user experience with AI affects their preferences? So there are many theoretical works, but the main frameworks this paper was based on was the work by Leo, where he developed an XA question bank. So basically, it's a question-driven design process for XAI, which grounds identification of user needs and requirements. So in his work, contribute a novel design process to enable designers to predict teams to work with a toolbox of AI algorithm focusing on design issue, in particular the AI explainability. So they basically started to review related work on XAI as well as AI design, and then identify 4 requirements that design process of XAI UX should satisfy. And based on these requirements, building also upon period works, of course, design an example technique, they propose the question-driven design process for XAI. Which mainly enables the user question to serve as a boundary object to support building between design and AI engineers. So the 6 categories, the how, why not, what if, performance, data. And mainly these questions, for instance, the how question is the how question concerns what feature does the system consider, what type of algorithm is used, and how the parameter is configured. The why and why not questions what factors determine the system's prediction for their instance, how do specific feature influence it, and why are certain instance assigned to same prediction. The what if category, what is the range of value of a given feature will keep the same, keep the prediction and it change, and how would the system prediction change if specific features are alerted or changed. The performance concern under condition is under what condition the system likely to be correct, and under what condition the system will be incorrect. For instance, what type of mistakes does it tend to make performance sufficient for the intended user. The data concerns what is the source of the data, the sample size, the distribution of the training data, particularly with respect to the specific features of feature values. The output question concerns the type of output does the system provide? What are the capabilities? How can the user best integrate this output into their workflow? So the study design, participants were basically asked to rank the explanation questions under two conditions. So these conditions, under each condition, participants were given under task 1 a basic recall, under task 2 a higher order evaluation task. So each participant has to rank 12 explanation questions from 1 to 12 based on their priority. So the study basically followed a repeated measure design. Participants perform a ranking set of questions under two conditions. Under each condition, participants were provided with a question answering sample performed by the researcher. The researcher used ChatGPT for answering two questions. The two samples vary from basic to recall evaluation, representing two different cognitive level of the Bloom's taxonomy. For one condition, ChatGPT was used to answer what is the renewable energy, which is a very basic cognitive level. And for the other condition, ChatGPT was used to answer, evaluate the impact of online education on student learning outcome and compared to traditional classroom education. And then which do you think is more effective and why? Which is a higher order evaluation. Under each condition, also participants were given a set of questions, as we mentioned, adopted from the XAI question bank, asked to rank these questions from the most to the least important. So 1 represents the most important, 12 represents the least important in terms of how much answering them would make the provided ChatGPT answer to be more useful, effective, and trustworthy. So the set of questions cover these 6 categories. Each category contains 2 questions: how in general, why and why not, what if, performance, and data. An important point was to control the order of effect between the 2 samples. So participants were 36 participants. So to control the order effects, participants were given the basic recall question answering sample, followed by the higher order evaluation question, while 38 participants complete the study in reverse. And to rank the question, they basically given the following instruction based on ChatGPT response above. Which of the following question you think ChatGPT should answer in the previous question to make the response useful, effective, trustworthy? Please rank the question from 1 to 12. Please write only the number for each, one number for each question. So participants were 69, varied in terms of AI experience level and experience, mid-experience, experience. So the key result, so the first part of the result was about what question does the generative AI need to answer to be useful, effective, trustworthy in terms of task 1. So the how question was the highest with 45% rank first, followed by the why question. And the least prioritized question was the output and data. The general observation about this result was the majority of the sample believes that question type generative AI should focus on answering the how type, followed by the why. Meanwhile, the output type is the least preferred among the respondent for the question that generative should answer. The second part of the result was about the task 2. For task 2, similar result. So clear that the majority of the sample believe that question type generative AI should address are the how type followed by the why. Question type like data, output, what if are less preferred. Doesn't mean they don't prefer having answer for them, but in comparative to the how and why, they were less preferred by the majority of participants.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have about 1.5 minutes left.
Okay. The effect of task complexity, based on the correlation test, most categories, there was no significant correlation. There was only weak consistency for the performance and the data. So the task complexity did not significantly change the explanation priorities between participants. In terms of the user experience, based on the chi-square analysis, there was no significant difference across experience levels. So novices and experienced users showed similar preferences. So the main contribution, user prioritized the how the system work and why it produced this output over a question like training data details, output formatting, or technical performance metric. So the implications for such result, future XAI should focus or emphasizes procedural explanations, provide reasoning justifications for user, and also focus on actionable explanation. In conclusion, explanation needs are stable based on the result of this study. We found that explanation needs are stable across tasks. Experience level does not significantly alert the preferences. The how and why explanation universally valued, and user-centered XAI essential for trustworthy generative AI. If there is any question, I'm happy to answer them.
Nice presentation. Any limitation you are observed by doing the study?
There was some limitation for the study. The study focused on a specific AI model, which is ChatGPT. The result may vary with other generative AI system. Maybe future research should expand the sample size, also include a diverse AI model, investigate how different domains like education, healthcare, business influence question type.
Okay, thank you. Over to Vaishali ma'am.
Yeah, so I have only one question, that how can we balance a detailed explanation within keeping that response is fast and simple?
Usually, based on the result, the preference of the how and why question, it's actually users likely view AI as more effective, trustworthy, and provide a well-reasoned explanation rather than just presenting data or hypothetical scenarios. So maybe through the explanation should be part of the AI tool, showing user that the reason why you're having this result because the input for generative AI was this or that.
Yeah. Okay. Is this applicable to healthcare and law? Is that okay that we have a high risk domains? No, so that can we apply to this healthcare and law for this one?
I think this could be applicable in healthcare, especially that whether we're talking about practitioners working in healthcare or even patients who start using AI tool or communicating to their GPs using AI tool, explanations already there combined with AI tools used even in healthcare. But to make it more related to the user, what whether practitioners working in healthcare really need to be explained to them. So the main question is what the user need.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, just a second. So I believe Mr. Armando Cabrera Silva is back in the meeting. So I would like to hand it over to him so he can continue with his presentation. Mr. Silva, are you with us? All right, I believe he is unresponsive. So I will now move towards the closing remarks. So I sincerely thank all of our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope the session was informative for everyone. And on behalf of the whole team, I would like to thank you for supporting us during this 11th version and all the previous 10 versions of the conference. We will be very happy to have you in the 12th version in 2027. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. The publication will be live within 7 to 8 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2026. Before we adjourn, I would like to thank our chairs for gracing this occasion. I would like to present a token of our appreciation to them on behalf of Team ICICT 2026 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. Thank you so much for your valuable presence. Before we conclude the session, I would like to request everyone to please turn on their cameras for a quick virtual snapshot. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe and take care. The session is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.